All right, well, y'all, what's up, man? What's going on, y'all? Yeah, we're back to the Real Talk forums. I'm Sterling Carroll, with my man Tak Amaru. What's going on, brother?
That is who I be. Yeah,
Yeah.
we ain't been on in a minute. Want to say what's up to the people been hitting me up.
hmm
But we're here now.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Telling you, it's oh, there we go. Sorry, my mic wasn't on, but I'm pretty sure people could hear me.
Yeah,
Uh
I hear you fine.
yeah. It's just been yeah, that Jambu Island food truck, bro. Telling you,
Yeah,
it's work. But
yes, right, man. Cause this, you just got really kind of finished the lunch boom,
mhm.
and yeah. So how's business over there?
So far so good. As long as the weather is good, we get a lot of people sitting outside now. People, regular customers now. They become regular customers, and it's always
Okay.
fun to see. We got older ladies who come in there and they're like, "Let me get something cold to drink." I'm like, "Yeah, I got this water." Like, nah, like a ume soda, which is like an alcoholic drink, plum wine and soda. And I'm like, "Oh, y'all trying to drink in the afternoon, huh?" I'm like, yeah, it's about that time. I'm like, okay.
Okay. How about Because I heard I think did Osaka get locked down again?
Probably we're doing our thing outside, so I don't really pay attention that much to things, but it is slowly closing down. I think because a lot of the company classes are starting to cancel. So yeah,
Okay. And Golden Week. They're trying to prepare before Golden Week.
mm. Yeah. My
Which
Golden Week events got canceled. They got all shut down.
which is the end of April through the first week of May. For those who don't know, it's a series of holidays, really just to give people a break because
Yeah.
it's like a month after the beginning of the year, and that's the depression moment
Mm.
in Japan. So I don't know how long. Golden Week is not that old, right? I don't think it's being serious. Maybe
That's a good
like
question. Yeah.
maybe 70s or something like that. I'm not. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but yeah, just seems like it was put there because they're trying to give people a break,
Yeah.
from the, you know,
The monotony.
right in there.
Yeah. Something in the states that lasts a week like that. I guess like Christmas break or the winter season break, and then Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I think in the states, but they got stuff like Memorial Days in there. Um,
But does it go for a week? That's just a 1 day.
yeah, nothing like no, yeah, no. But people in the states can take vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Japanese people, even though it's written into most of their contracts, Japanese people rarely take vacation.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, because their work gets put on somebody else instead of you know
mm,
everything collective.
mm-hmm.
So, so it's kind of like I said, the hone and the tatemai.
Yeah,
Tatemai is they have vacation days, but the real deal is nobody really takes them. And if you do, you feel all kind of pressure.
yeah.
Um, yeah. All right.
How you doing over
Yeah.
there?
That's, hmm?
How you doing over there?
Pretty good, man. 21st Century Japan Decoded. I haven't even been working on it the last couple of weeks, or the last week, I should say, just because I spoke to a consultant, and he's really, really big on me trying to seek a traditional publisher for Guy Kokushin the story. But of course, that requires a little bit of little rewriting of, just like the description of the book, and I'm going to take it from being like a memoir to a fictional memoir, which it really already was, but I wrote it too much. There's some things there that make it look like a memoir,
Mm-hmm.
and consultant told me that was throwing people off. So the guy
Ah,
gave me some good advice, yeah. So how to, exactly to do.
mm-hmm.
That's what I like. Very, very specific. So we're gonna put
Y'all need
some of
that
this on.
book so you can get that agent.
Right.
Yeah.
See what we can do. But 21st Century Japan Dakota is coming. Um, yeah. So
All right.
again, just
Looking forward to it, man. Yeah.
trying to keep wear a couple different hats.
Mm,
But let's get in on today's topic
let's do
because
it.
both of us got some busy days still ahead of us. Um, this is something that really Sterling inadvertently created actually the topic, and we were talking one time. I can't remember what exactly we were talking about, but um, I was going in and just we were talking about black people like we normally do,
Hmm.
and I don't know what I said, but then you said it was after you came to Japan was when you really learned to appreciate being black. I don't know if you said appreciate or you really learned what it was to be black. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I remember the feel. I remember the switch where I actually really started to try to define what me being black was. You know what I'm saying? Uh, everybody has their general, just the general idea of it. But uh, yeah, when I had to explain it, when I had to start teaching Japanese culture, they would always make it American, American this, American that. And I was like, well, it's a little different for black people. And I remember feeling that uncomfortable feeling, like it was uncomfortable to talk about that because up until that point, living in the States, it's like, oh, you're trying to force this a melting pot idea, like we're all the same.
Yeah.
I think black people are just under that pressure. And the longer I was in Japan, I was like, well, wait a minute, like every other culture is proud of talking about it. Like they always differentiate between each other, but it's because they have their own country, their own language. And then, so when you see a Chinese person or a Japanese person or a Latino from, like, let's just say Mexico, talking about their culture, it's all good. But the minute you start saying, well, that's just black people do this, that always is in contrast to, okay, so you're talking about what white people don't do or how you guys are always against each other. And I'm like, yeah, there's always this tension, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I know that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and that's what it is because they want to make us all, at least in the United States, all American.
Mm-hmm.
And Japanese especially do it like so. The term American is one really that I'm really proud of. If I think about what America really means,
Mm-hmm.
but when Japanese say American, I always say no, I'm not American because American to them means a white person,
Right.
or at least someone at least that observes and upholds Western standards, values, religions,
Mm-hmm.
ways of thinking, etc. All these things which don't really apply to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, not to throw shade on anybody who does, or even white people. It's not about that, but yeah, like no, I need something that defines me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Mm-hmm. And to get around it where it's like, yeah, like trying to explain it as in you should be interested in different cultures. And you're like, well, I'm interested in American culture, not just black culture. I'm like, well, saying that I'm interested in American culture, not just black culture. I'm like, well, that's because I brought up black culture and you say American culture, but you're basically saying, like you just said, I'm interested in what Caucasian people do, not what anybody else does. And I'm like, you have to kind of understand black culture because a lot of Caucasian culture is based on, if not all of it, based on black culture in the States.
Yeah.
You know,
Cultural appropriation.
culture appropriation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
It'll help me
Um.
define that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say again.
I said it helped me define that, and therefore it helped me understand black people on a whole nother level. I had an objective view of it now. You know?
Okay. Well, we'll go in talk more about that. So talk about when you were in the States and what you were thinking or what you weren't thinking about, and then like when you came over here to Japan. So what like rang the bell to make you like more conscious of it?
In the States, because there's is black culture is right in your face, is what influences especially current culture for the youth and all that. I never really had to explain it. And yeah, and especially pop culture, and I felt like I wasn't qualified to really speak on it like that because I freestyle every once in a while, but I'm not like no rapper. I'm not breakdance, I'm not dancing at all, I'm not doing anything, that I'm not playing any sports. So I didn't feel like I was really qualified to explain what black is. And I was thinking in terms of, well, I grew up in a mixed culture, so it was like I was trying to just define who I was without having to define black at all. And the more I came to Japan, I started to realize, oh, I really need to explain it as a black man. That's really like the base of who I am.
That's your lane.
Yeah, it really is my lane. Like I can't really even speak on Caucasian culture, white culture, without talking about black culture. So just that, and then I realized I was thinking earlier, and I kind of said it to a little black girl who's over here. She's Japanese and black, but I told him I learned that you don't really get any benefits for acting white in Japan as a black person. Where in the States, you're trying to act white or trying to assimilate yourself for benefits. There's no real benefit for acting white over here. You know what I'm saying? You get a few benefits for acting like a gaijin, but you don't really get any benefits just going the extra step and trying to act white. Where in the States, you're looking for those benefits, cooning and whatnot.
Okay, okay, yeah. Well, I was going to say, are we going to try to avoid the C word?
Yeah.
So basically, that's what you're talking about.
Hmm.
So, okay, so do you think that black people over here maybe don't understand that? 'Cause I think I
Definitely.
bet some, yeah, I bet some guys here, and I'm like, oh, yeah, they don't even understand. You don't get anything extra for that. You don't, you know, just
Yeah, they're the first people to always say something like, "Oh, well, we're not all like that." Sterlyn mentioned something about black people, but not all black people are like that. I'm like, yeah, but we're trying to give a base understanding of what black people are to Japanese people. They're looking at it like, why are you teaching Japanese that thing? And I'm like, well, I mean, like the N word, for
right.
example. They hear it. I mean, it's in the music. It's in TV shows. So, and then people, why are you teaching them that? Why are you telling them about the N word? I'm like, well, they need to know how black people use it. Like, why? Why do they need to know? And I'm like, because this is part of black culture.
And they're going to face if they go overseas. Even on a practical note, if they go overseas to the states, they have to know what it means. And for me, like why you shouldn't use it or how you can get yourself in trouble if you think you're really down,
Right.
trying to act down or any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You could end up beat down.
While you hear
So
it, while you'll always
yeah,
hear it. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's a word that has a lot of power.
Hmm.
Like I said, especially when you're in the realm of teaching, people don't understand a lot of times. It's like, no, you think that I'm talking about what I want to talk about, but it's really from an objective stance.
Mm.
And the only reason I teach this is because you don't.
Mm.
Like I feel like I'm a ot sometimes, like I'm just going to do whatever, not I'm gonna supplement.
Explain who Ma'at is. What is Ma'at?
Well, is the goddess of like truth. Really, you can say reciprocity,
Okay.
balance,
Mm.
um,
Egyptian god.
and yeah, ancient Egyptian goddess.
MAAT. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like a lot of times I'm just restoring balance, and
Hmm.
and I find more times than not that the students are very very receptive.
Mm.
Just I think it's basic. I mean, even if it's only just because they don't hear this anywhere else,
Mm.
it's almost like a gimmick,
Hmm.
And a lot of times, especially for me, I always find a way to flip it to talking about the empowerment side of it, because Japanese feel, especially children or students, they feel like they have no power because everybody just tells them what to do.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
like just the other day when we were talking about something.
Mm.
What were we talking about? I can't remember, but I remember I said no. The goal here is not for you to believe me or
Mm.
to believe your other teachers or believe any teacher. I said the goal is for you to start to learn how to think so you can believe you.
Mm.
And I could see that really clicked in his mind because that's what he wanted to hear. That's what he already knew because he's a very independent young man. And I even said, I was like, yeah, what about when your parents aren't going to be here anymore? I said, those are people that love you. When you walk out those doors, and I can tell a lot of Japanese women now, they bring their boys, especially to me, because they see, okay, he has male energy.
Mm.
Like, the boy's hanging out with me all the time. You know what I'm saying? The father's at work,
Mm.
and somebody he needs to talk to a man. And I can specifically see that these women they understand that.
Mm.
They're like, I don't want my son being no pansy ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get in there and hang out with him for a minute.
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah, and mixing it with that is always, yeah, black culture is definitely heterosexual male energy is key in understanding that, which I think most countries sorely need, especially Japan.
Yeah, masculine energy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Especially this day and time, man. God damn.
yeah, man. I mean, it's
That
getting a
toxic
little wiggly.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to talk. Just stay on topic. Even for myself, when I came here as an adult, it was like it was following like after the Biggie and Tupac stuff,
Hmm.
and I remember I was really down on America, but especially just this black, like what I had come to know, because in the '90s, to me, I was naive, real young, college, all that stuff. I thought black people had arrived. I
Ah,
mean, you had the
the golden age has
WB, the Fox channel, everything was black on TV.
begun.
Number one, Def Comedy Jam, like I mean, you could be black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the expression of like, be a real nigga. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was not totally accepted, but this was years after NWA had came out already, like so that had already been normalized,
Mm.
you know, and I couldn't, I was still in that that vacuum of thinking that things are getting better since slavery. I hadn't done any research yet, so by everything I saw, I was like, I was a little kid. I remember hearing stories about the Black Panthers,
Mm.
and now we to this.
Mm.
Martin Luther King. Now we're here with black people everywhere. I was like, yeah. So I thought by the time I was my age now, it was just going to be utopia out this bad boy, or at least on a racial equal bias.
Mhm.
But after Tupac and Biggie got assassinated, both of them were like, Tupac Thug Life and blah blah blah, and Death Row Records, and Biggie Junior Mafia, Frank White, and I was like, didn't nothing happen.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I mean nowhere. Nobody looked for the killers or nothing happened. I was like, and that's when I realized I was like, yo, you thought this shit was real, and I had to admit to myself, yeah, I kind of did. Like that was and I mean not just the Tupac thing, but I'm talking about the whole thing.
Mm.
Saying that black people on television, it's progressively getting better. And I went into I think a sort of depression, but my coming to Japan, we talked about this before. I didn't like any aspect of Japanese culture. I was, like a other guy. I like anime, so I came over here. I like this, or I got interested. I never got interested in Japan. You know what I mean? I was, Japan was always my other country.
Mm.
And so I was like, America is just, man, America for black people is just not happening. I don't see nothing here.
Okay.
So let me go check out my other country.
Mm.
But coming over here, ironically, because I started studying, and first I started studying Japanese history, going back on, I was trying to get in my Japanese side, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And but in doing so, what happens, you start getting into the Ainu, the Emishi, you start going back further and further, and then so where did they come from? So then I find out about the Twa people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait a minute. So no matter what you study, if you go far back enough, it just keeps coming back to Africa and black people.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And without going too far, the Ashraquazi research, Sebai Ma, shout out to those brothers,
Yeah.
both reverend teachers.
Yeah.
And then, and this is even before I really clicked off on the conscious level, the Bobby Hemmett's, you know what I mean? The Phil Valentine's and all that. But it just kept getting blacker and blacker. Mm. So it was like coming to Japan that made me see another side of blackness, And then when you understand what happened, then you start to really be able to comprehend what you see in front of you on the news.
Yeah, and the pressure is gone not to assimilate, because that really helped, because I noticed I was trying to get into Japanese culture. I got into the Shinto thing, Buddhism, and then and I see a lot of brothers who are definitely interested into that. But when it comes to just black culture, people don't want to get into it. Brothers don't want to get into that, and part of it is because they're still trying to get into the existing system. And
trying to escape.
Yeah, it's an escape, and Japan is a good escape in that. I used it as an escape, but eventually I weaned off of that and got into my own culture, And
it's a temporary escape though.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
if it's not temporary, then you're gonna become one of these really weird people.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna go off to La La Land somewhere. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I've met a couple of those cats too.
Hmm.
And they don't have they have nothing to stand on. Like they're just strange.
Yeah, the Karate
Um,
Kids, the guys who go to the actual not all of them, but the dojos and everybody who's into that. I love them brothers, but a lot of them are in La La Land. You know.
um, and if you just think about it from just a basic human on a basic human level, it's like how are you going to like what it is you want to learn about this other culture and then try to assimilate, but you don't know anything about your own.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? How can you? Because really, what you want to do is you want to go somewhere and you want to contribute.
Mm.
Everybody, that's at the end of the day, especially as a man, you have to contribute or you're not a man.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? In society. So, but you're going to go over here and try to contribute, but you have nothing to, because the thing that you have to contribute, you don't know.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to go in there and give them something about something that you know about yourself.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, to ready to do it, you have to, like, no matter what, it always comes down to a search inward into what your personal journey is in this avatar, in this time.
Mm.
And yours is different from mine, it's different from that person, it's different from the next person.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're too scared or you're too traumatized or whatever the reason may be, and I'm not going to say excuse because it is a reason. It's that very thing is going to be what prohibits you or inhibits you from achieving what you're trying to do.
Mm.
You can't go somewhere else and give something that you don't have, that you don't possess.
Can
You left
you
it at home.
express yourself without expressing the culture that you came from? Can you literally like divorce yourself from it? And can you be can a black person be black but not ever really delve into, you know what I'm saying? Like just a lot of people, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm just me. A lot of people say that.
Well, yeah, but that's true for everybody. Everybody is just you. You know what I'm saying? But I'll even say like when I see kids, okay, if you're young enough, whatever culture that you're in, that's your culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that when I see some kids who are black and Japanese like me, but they grew up over here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a moment where we're like looking at each other, you know what I'm saying? And you can see some of them but it's almost instantaneous. They either want to know more or they were like, no, you're different from me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't want to even say no names or anything, but especially like the ones that like especially when I like for the first time I started meeting kids that the mother was black
Mm-hmm.
and the father was Japanese.
Mm.
Because generally, it's
Yeah, it's
like
always
my father was in service. Yeah, it's usually the other way around. But when I meet those kids,
yeah.
yeah, when I meet those kids, the dynamics are different. You know what I'm saying? Are very different, and that like some to the point where I don't even really feel comfortable to speak on it too much. But I just definitely like, wow, that's something I didn't.
I've never. I can't remember the last kid I've seen like that. Where the mother is black and the father is Japanese. Yeah, I've rarely.
I've met a few, especially some of the African women.
Yeah,
Some African women are married to Japanese dudes. Someone used to braid my hair. I used to go over their house in Osaka.
yeah.
And and her husband was a scientist.
Mm.
He was always in the field doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She was they were living large, but she was braiding hair really just really as a favor.
Mm.
So but the kids the dynamics are a little bit different.
Mm.
But to me, a lot of times some of those kids, and not I'm not just specifically talking about the black woman and the Japanese man, but I mean kids that just grow up over here.
Mm.
A lot of them they don't identify, or they try to they don't want to be black just because they know nothing about being black.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, but then you see the other ones too.
Yeah, like I get it, man, and I understand. The black one is the hardest one to accept. You know what I'm saying? It's at the bottom of the pile. You know what I'm saying? If you were born in Japan and you're trying your hardest to be Japanese, and the only thing that differentiates you is physically, like you just look black, I can understand you're not trying to go into that, it's a lot of work being black, man.
Well, what it is that if you don't have any, again, it always comes down to knowledge of self. Because if that same black kid is able to look at K-pop and see that it's from black people, or
Hmm.
J-pop, you know what I'm saying, and you start seeing all these things, like, you know what I mean? It's when you have knowledge of self. I'll flip it, because when I went to America, I remember I didn't really know anything about my mom stopped speaking Japanese to us. We didn't really deal with Japan at all.
Hmm.
So when kids would start cracking jokes on me, I didn't really have a way to defend myself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but if you know about your culture, if you know things, it makes all the difference. But a
Hmm.
lot of people, especially black people,
Hmm.
and I just heard, who was just saying this? Damn, I can remember the names. I can't remember. I want to give credit where credit is due. But he was talking about how, like the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings and the Wilmington bombings and all this stuff back in the day, how it was against the law for black people to talk about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after it was over, like, yeah, they hands on you, like, you weren't allowed to, like, and so, so the parents didn't tell the kids, because kids are kids, they're just gonna start talking.
Mm.
And if you were outside talking about them, white people heard you, they're gonna come and get you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? This was still lynch time and all that stuff, like, and yeah, so we have generations of just mum's the word.
Mm.
And that's and we still continue doing that, and that's another reason why we black people don't know anything about themselves. I mean, you have black people, like some of these guys I talked to in this Black in Japan channel and everything, and when I'm asking them, like, so what does it mean to be black? Like, well, what differentiates you from a white? Well, I say other people, but I'm specifically talking about the mainstream, the dominant culture. And you think I asked them, like, what the cosine of 14,922
No,
is?
it's
They're
just
like,
difficult.
they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, and they
No,
got to come up with like 4 different guesses before it. Yeah, they're like, I mean, not your hair. Don't talk about your hair or your skin.
and yeah, other than the physical, yeah,
Yeah, I'm talking about something, yeah, intrinsic.
yeah.
You know what I mean? To you, that's not physical. And yeah, they got to ask me follow-up questions and like this. And then one cat, he gets, but I got it though. I got it. He was like really,
Yeah, he's really
all
trying.
right, man, you got it, man. But I'm like, it just seems like it's such an easy question.
It is now. Now that I can understand why people get. Yeah, it's intimidating, man. It is intimidating.
Well, it's especially intimidating if you've never thought about it.
Right.
See, that's what it is. It's like these kind of questions, people, like, when they're kids, they're not being challenged.
Mm.
And it's like, if you're a black kid growing up in the world, you're the one, that's the kid that's going to get the most challenges. You need to start challenging them early. I'm not talking about abusing them.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about abuse. I'm talking about you're trying to prevent them from being abused.
Mm.
And I guess because I was a social worker and I used to deal with kids, in the hood, it was really easy. I'm like, some of these kids would be put in this facility, and there you have these white staff, and you'll get timeouts and points, and they would start like living it up. And I used to be like, yo, you know where you from though, right? You're gonna start going on furloughs this weekend, starting this weekend. You've been here for like, 4 weeks straight, and you don't live here.
Mm.
You still live in the projects, B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, man, so I'm not saying don't enjoy this, man, but I'm going to talk straight to you. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm going to prepare you for what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to give you a shoulder massage and then send you outside.
Yeah. You can be anything you want to be. All right, now get out.
Yeah, give you a pep talk.
General, yeah, yeah.
Work hard.
Work hard, yeah, work hard, and there's somebody out there for everyone. Yeah. Follow your dreams. And they'll come
Sounds good until you leave.
Yeah. Where's the real game
Open
at?
the door and get reality.
Yeah,
How's that gonna help you?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. You got to tell them some practical and actual.
The minute I started being as black as I could be in Japan, as in trying to define myself through my culture. That's how I started my own business. That's how I started getting my own original ideas. That's how everything started flowing through. When I tried to copy the pre-existing models of everything, it didn't. You could just see it is going in the same direction as everybody else. It doesn't work. You know, it's already been done. You really need to dive into it and and I don't know, make a original identity of yourself. People identify you first by how you look, and then really just by your culture. You know what I'm saying? Your culture. And it's funny, everybody can copy black culture, but nobody actually knows black culture. And you do that over here, it really stands out. I suggest everybody try it. I mean, any
Or they can copy the service level.
yeah, yeah.
They can copy the service level
Get
as
into
well.
yeah, and get into the history, get into everything. I mean, I love Japanese samurai stories, how they talk about how the legends were born and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Japanese are proud to talk about that shit. You
I'm
know?
proud of it. Plus, that's my history too. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm proud of it. You know, and I go in, and I'm named after someone. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's definitely a rich in history too. But even like I said, any of that stuff that I studied, it just keeps going back to black people. And I don't think that black people, especially the black people that I meet in Japan, are aware of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then the ones that might have an inkling of it, they don't think it's important. They don't see, that's what it is. They don't see it. They don't see how it's important now. Like, how's that going to help me now?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And you just really stated the answer.
Mm.
It's like, as long as you keep on running around chasing this, it's like them dogs, in the dog race, chasing the rabbit.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're never going to catch that thing, man. How many races are you going to run? Have you ever caught it? You ever seen somebody catch it? You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it doesn't exist. But when you become yourself, because you are the only one that's you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then even if you want to package that up and market it, but yeah, I don't see how you're gonna find any fulfillment. But it's very, very, it was disturbing. I don't know, but just it was an eye opener.
Yeah, it's a wake up call. Yeah, you're like, wow.
Just talking to people here and asking them about their blackness,
And you
and
really, yeah.
and yeah, big question marks,
And then when you tell them they're not trying to even hear it, you're like, wow. Because when I first heard it, I was like, wow, I didn't know this. I started getting into it. You try to tell it to somebody else, they're like, yeah, I'm not really. You're like, wow, really? Okay. You
yeah,
really,
it's not yeah.
really differentiate the people. You're like, okay, that's why you're here. Okay. You ain't
And
trying.
and then and that's when you start to realize people's level of trauma,
Mm.
because anytime you're not attracted to your own greatness, you have to wonder why. You're attracted to somebody else's greatness, but you're not attracted to your own greatness. You're not trying to hear it.
Mm.
That's what's that about?
Mm.
But how many of those people are willing to even ask that question?
Mm.
Because that's going to open a whole nother Pandora's box, and one that they've probably been working really, really hard to seal.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's trauma, man.
Yeah. People just want to be left alone when they get here, man. Just leave me alone. Yeah, and you can get left alone, man. But yeah, it'll weird you out, man. Yeah, you don't mind getting weird, and you think it won't happen to you, but it's a slippery slope.
Nah, because it happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not constantly, you have to have reality.
Mm.
You have to be in touch with reality, or you won't be in touch with it.
Yeah.
And you think things are doing one thing, and it's going a lot faster. You're just not there. You're not really off, but you're just not in sync.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you have to have some semblance of connecting with what is happening.
Mm.
Like I said, no matter I want my make a lot more money on the books and all that, of course, like anybody would. But no matter what, I'll never stop. As long as I'm in Japan, I'll never stop teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Because like now, again, I'm starting to get classes that really, really are tapping into my social work.
Nothing to do with the English. Yeah.
Yeah, like the kid that's coming now is like I said, what I just said, a little boy. I just wanted to come and hang out with you.
Yeah, the English is complimentary. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just hang out with your ass.
Mm,
And so I'm like, yeah, cool. You can come hang out. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? You know, said
mm-hmm.
I'm a kid's guy as long as there's a time when they're gonna go home.
Yeah, you looking at them like,
I'm all good as long as there's a expiration on this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For that, and within that window, I am fun and games.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But when that time, I'm looking where my mom at. You know,
yeah,
mom need to pull up here.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Parents take too long to get here. I got them working out with me. I'm like, come on, let's do some sit-ups together because I'm just gonna sit around here entertaining you all day and just wear them out for you. Wear them out, wear the kids out for the parents. So when the parents gonna pick them up, they're real hungry now or they're ready to go to bed. Yeah, that's what you're paying for. The English is secondary or
Yeah.
or third. Yeah, and
But it's interesting
you is
also,
yeah.
but even like I say, because I know Sterling has the same type of situation, and maybe even more so, where again they want the kids to pick up more than just language. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And but for myself though, I go back in my own family. My own family don't even see me like that. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a whole bunch of lost kids, nieces, nephews. Now they're having kids, and to me, they're like a survival unit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about my family specific, just so I'm open with it, and I'm not trying to throw shade in anybody, but this extends beyond that. And think about it, just what you know about the United States and black men and the incarceration rate and the drugs, all that. We don't got to go into it. But a guy like you or a guy like me go back, and black people don't even see our value.
Mm-hmm.
I went back hanging out with these kids. They didn't ask me not one question. These are all younger dudes. I'm like, you don't care about nothing that's not going on right here in front of you or on the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Fusion. What was it called? The four phases of identity diffusion. They're in the diffusion stage.
Oh, okay.
Not committed and not explorative. Neither one. Just kind of stuck in a limbo, like you said, survival mode. Just trying to make it day to day.
Yeah, but yeah, and but when you listen to them speak, they got all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have the answers to the most basic questions.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like this whole facade, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, what you brothers gonna do in 5 years?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? 10 years. These are young dudes. You know what I'm saying? Late 20s, early 30s,
Mm.
and I'm like, well, you're not even thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be one thing if you weren't thinking about it because you was chilling.
Mm.
If you was clubbing every night, you was doing or whatever you think is flossing.
Mm.
I could see.
Yeah,
But
you
y'all
ain't
you sitting on the porch with me. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I'm visiting. I'm trying to do what y'all do. This is it. This is what y'all do.
yeah.
Y'all like old men and shit. Like y'all you need some rocking chairs.
25 going on 60. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, so this is it. Who is some chicks gonna come through? Like, what's getting ready to happen?
Like,
Nah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like
plateaus. They just plateau. Yeah. Just
like
yep.
and because I hadn't been around in a while, so I don't.
Everything's comfortable.
What?
Everything's comfortable. So you can. I mean, as long as you got Netflix, I'm sure. I feel the same way. Like, as long as you got Netflix, your computer, and you got the internet, a lot of things you ain't got to do no more. And it's just real easy to sit around.
No, but the difference is that but you're doing something.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying if you want to be lazy, it's easy. Back in the day, if you wanted to be lazy, the channels only your program only comes on at a certain time, and then what else you got? Books. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get out there and find something to do. But now you really ain't gonna find nothing to do at all, and you can't Corona because I can't go out anyway, so I have to be lazy.
Yeah. But this is above and beyond Corona. Corona just makes it easier. Well, not even excuses more excuses right now.
Yeah, but more excuses for it though. More social interaction. That's what builds culture. The fewer social interactions, the easier it is to just bubble up, sit around, hikikomori, sitting around your house all day, never really going out, never really talking to nobody, just going to work, going home.
shit's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, well, that's all we really want to talk about. Really, just this idea of being able to come over to Japan, and when you're in Japan, you can really, like I said, if you're here already, your finances should be somewhat secure in
Mm.
terms of you're not looking over your shoulder for the electricity bill being, paid and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You really have the space to be you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If you dare to be you. But the question is, do you even know who you are?
Mm.
And if you don't, what do you do to find that out?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've learned so much about myself, and I just was saying the same thing. And a lot of it is after I got to Japan, because I have the time to think. You know what I'm saying? And let me study some stuff. Let me do this, and really enable me to become, to get into myself, and which enabled me to become a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's, I think, one of the really really good things about Japan. For me, not, again, I didn't come here because I don't live here because of the anime or the sushi
Yeah,
or any
yeah.
of that. You know what I'm saying? And no shade on those you that who do.
It just gets that monkey off your back. You know what I'm saying? That dominant culture bullshit. It just takes that off your back. Whatever you're going through in Japan, every other Japanese person is going through it too. So I'm like, damn, they raising taxes on me on this bullshit. Like, everybody's going through that. You know what I'm saying? This thing's happening to me. Like, everybody's going through that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's a lot different than the states where you black people get singled out.
yeah, and then you see other groups getting a whole lot of benefits for something that you're not getting, and then you got to fight for the benefit. You're like, no, if one Japanese getting benefit over here, everybody getting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's you ain't got to you don't even have to look into it. It's just like, this
because
is
that's just the way
working. Like,
that's the way they do things here.
yeah,
It's everybody. It's across the board, and
right.
there's benefits, positives, and negatives. But a lot of that stuff over in states where one group's getting this and one group's getting that,
Mhm.
you ain't seeing that like that over here.
Right, right.
You know, and yeah, I could go into it. Yeah. All right, man. I think that's all we really were trying to get into today.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
If you're coming over here, try to be you, and hopefully 20 years from now we can have our own little enclaves, like how Indians got them over here, little little pockets around the world where we can really chop it up and live with each other, build new communities. That'd be tight.
But to even get along with each other, the first thing you got to do is you got to find out who you are.
Yeah, that cultural link. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. All right. That's some real talk. And it's
Talk.
the forum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tak Amaru. Get at me, taquanamaru.com,
Mm.
or holler at me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Holler at me on realtalkenglish.jp. You can check out Jambu Island Hitakata on my IG, Jambu Island Hitakata. All right, y'all.
All right, man. We out.
Hey,
One.
one.